Even during that time, I didn't realize that I was not all the way free until I got to a place of, unfortunately, a really dark place of being sick and really thinking I was going to die. And there was days one day I lost my sight and I couldn't see.
Wow.
It was just the most bizarre thing ever. And but I think that, of course, God had to take me through that. Mm-hmm. And I lost my sight because I won't see it anyway. I wouldn't even see it myself.
Hello, I'm Koya Webb, and here I have with me Tabitha Brown, who is an actress, fellow Southern girl, and a vegan foodie influencer. And as you can see, she is fabulous. But if you're listening, you can't see. You got to check out the YouTube because this lady is just glowing. As soon as she walked into the door, you can just feel her energy, her spirit, her light. And I'm so excited to have you on the show today.
Thank you, girl.
So I just want to dive right in and just kind of just tell everybody where you come from, because you're from the South.
I am. I'm originally from Eden, North Carolina. It's a little small town. If you knew where it was, I'd know you already. That's how small it is.
Wow.
But yeah, that's where I'm from, a little small town in North Carolina.
And how did you get, so being an actress, it's not easy.
Oh, no, it ain't easy, child.
So how'd you go from Southern girl to
I always wanted to do it. As a kid, I used to always, before I knew what acting was, I remember we as a family would watch the Cosby Show every Thursday, honey. First we would go eat Mayflower or Libby Hill. That's like the fish place back before my vegan days, right? So that was a routine in our house. Every Thursday we go eat fish, and then we would come home and we watch the Cosby Show. And I remember when I was little, I told my mom one day, I was like, I want to be Rudy's friend, the next person that knock on the door, and I want to be able to walk in. I want to be Rudy's friend. But I didn't know that was me saying I want to be an actor. I just knew I wanted to be on the TV, and I wanted to do that, but I wanted to play Rudy's friend. Wow. And so as I got older, I discovered like plays at school and in church, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to perform. I love making people laugh. I always told jokes at the cookouts. Like, it's just always been my thing. Like, I love imitating the old ladies at church. Like, it's just always, that's always been what I wanted to do. And so I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to perform when I get older.
Wow. And I can't even look at you without smiling. And even when I watch your content online, like, I'm like smiling and laughing the entire time. So you are definitely, in your vibration of like what you were meant to do. And
I'm free.
You're free.
I'm free, girl.
So how long have you been free since you were a little girl, or was there a transition?
I feel like I've been free most of my life, and then especially as a little girl, I was definitely free. But then I got older, and life started to affect me. And when I say life started to affect me, I started to believe in the hype of life. I started believing what other people were saying instead of just trusting and believing me. So
and what did that look like for you?
As far as like when it comes to something as simple as like working in corporate America or being an actor, I started covering my accent. I started wearing my hair a certain way so that everybody feels comfortable. Let me sound a certain way because this is what society has told me it looks like. Let me starve myself so I can be a little bit thinner because this is what the society and the TV and the magazines have told me. Right. So those were the years that I was not free. I thought I was. And I've always been like a hippie, and I just love everybody, and I used to make clothes, and I still love to do that. But yeah, even during that time, I didn't realize that I was not all the way free until I got to a place of, unfortunately, a really dark place of being sick and really thinking I was going to die. And at that point is when I said, no more. It's exhausting putting on a mask every day. And covering who you really are to make the world feel comfortable. And I just got to a place where I was like, no more, I can't do it.
Wow. And how did you get sick? What was that? What did that transition look like?
I don't know how I got sick. I literally started having headaches. I was having like chronic neck pain. And then that turned into headaches. It turned into chronic fatigue. Wow. I had all the like women issues going on. Doctors did not know what was wrong with me. I would have days where I would fall when I would walk. And my mom died of ALS. So of course they started testing me for that, thinking that this may be it. It may be hereditary. And they just could never find anything. Could never find anything. And there was days that one day I lost my sight and I couldn't see.
Wow.
It was just the most bizarre thing ever. And but I think that, of course, God had to take me through that. Mm-hmm. And I lost my sight because I won't see it anyway. I wouldn't even see it myself. And so in that dark time in my life is when I, finally woke up. And I had to tell myself, girl, you've been faking the funk.
Wow.
You better, I had to really get in the mirror and see myself.
Wow.
And, for the first time I really saw myself, it had been a long time. Mm-hmm. I always tell people, when you want to figure out, why you stuck or what you really passionate about or what is your purpose, go back to your childlike mentality. Mm-hmm. Think about what you love to do as a child. Because that was before you let the world interfere with this. Because when you're a child, you don't care about what nobody's saying. You're just free and you're living in your purity, honey.
That is so true.
Everything you do is pure. Mm-hmm. And then we get older and people start telling you, oh, you can't do that. Oh, if you do that, this will happen. Oh, wait a minute, you want to do what? And you start believing it. Right. You start thinking it's true. And then the next thing you know, you living for somebody else. You ain't living for you no more.
Oh, my goodness. That is just nail on the head. I know I've experienced. So if someone is there, can you share kind of how you woke up and what that looks like? Because a lot of us can find ourselves and like you said, you don't even realize it. You're just caught up and you're like, who am I? You wake up, you don't recognize a person in the mirror. Yeah. So can you share kind of your wake up call and what that looked like for you?
Well, like I said, I had been sick for maybe a year at this point, and I was exhausted. Right. I was tired, and I had got to the point where I was tired of waking up. I was like, God, why do you keep waking me up? For what? For what? Why? You can take me. The only thing that was keeping me was my family. The only thing that I was fighting for was I got, I don't want to leave my kids here. I don't want to leave my husband here, and.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2. Yes. And so I was like, they need me. Right. But in the other side of my head, where the enemy was like, girl, they don't need you. You'll be all right. You can, stay asleep, But I literally remember I was in the bathroom. Mm-hmm. I had been in the shower. And that's where I always have my time where I talk to God and try to hear from him. Mm-hmm. And I literally got out and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, you say you believe, because I had started convincing myself after having several MRIs, but this one doctor telling me that it looked like I had something that was hereditary in my nervous system, which points to ALS when you start talking to me, because that's what my mom had. That's the only thing that could be hereditary. Right. And so within 3 days, I had convinced myself I'm going to die. I have I done buried myself, scheduled a funeral. In my head, I'm like, this is it. And my mom was a pastor, and I grew up in the church, and I've always had a relationship and know who God is and how powerful he is. But somewhere I had convinced myself that he was not that powerful. And I started to believe the enemy that, girl, this is it. He brought you this far just to bring you this far, honey. It ain't nothing else after this. But I was still posting everyday inspirational messages, still every now and then take a cute picture, because I was living the lie. Right. So I remember looking at myself in the mirror and I saw myself for the first time looking back at me saying, girl, you playing. You saying that you believe. You even I was even still praying, God heal me, but I won't believe in it. Wow. So I literally had a conversation with myself in the mirror. It was almost like my soul coming out and saying, what's going on? Where did you get lost? Where did you stop really believing? And in that moment, I said, no, I know who I am. Right. I know whose I am. Girl, wake up. And in that moment, I just fell to my knees. I just started bawling and crying. I was like, God, right now I ask you just to take me and have your will. Do what you want. Right. And I submit to you, and I'll do it your way. Because I tried it. And my way was wrong. I did it wrong for a long time. I always tell people, I thought I was doing good. I mean, I've always tried to be good to people and be, intentional by being good. Right. But I wasn't doing it his way. I did it because it was routine to be good. Right. But then there's a difference when you're free and you're saying, you got me, and I'll do it your way. And then people actually start, it was like this. Wow. I went from people like, oh, you look nice. Till I walk in the room and people say the exact same thing. Oh my God, you are so bright. You
just
have a
vibrant.
light. oh my God, something about you. And I know that that's the change. That's the freedom. That's them seeing God in me, because that's always my prayer. God, when I walk in the room, I don't want them to see me. I want them to see something they can't resist. And can't nobody resist him. And so in that moment, that was my wake up. That is when I became free in that bathroom. Wow. And from that day on, things just started to change in my life.
So it was almost like a mental, spiritual shift in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That's powerful, because a lot of people are looking for that and they don't feel it or find it. So after you had that shift, what did your life look like after that?
So within maybe, I never remember the exact time, but like my daughter came home. Well, let's rewind. So
how many years ago from now was this?
This was 2017.
2017?
Yeah,
so
2017.
3 years?
Yeah, so I had started being sick like 2016. And then, or late 2015 rather. No, yeah. So like, because like the end of 2015, I think that's when things kind of started. But then 2016 is like really hit 2016, 2017.
Right.
And I had started doing stand-up, years ago. And because, as an actress in Hollywood, you on a TV show, they be giving comic shows, child. So I was like, Lou, let me come up with this plan. I'm going to start doing stand-up so I can get a TV show, right? So once I got sick, I wasn't able to go out and do stand-up anymore. So I fell into depression. Right. So during the time that I'm not feeling well, I'm also depressed. Right. I was having what they call manic panic attacks, where I was having sometimes 50 a day.
What?
Massive panic attacks.
50,
like constantly trying to catch my breath.
Wow.
Hands are shaking. Just nonsense, right? Just nonsense.
I can't even imagine that many.
It's crazy.
Wow.
I couldn't either until I went through it, right?
Wow.
And so, and of course, every drug prescribed, you can take this. I felt like a zombie. I mean, I remember calling my sis one day, and I was like, listen, I just saw myself at the stop sign running, and I was in my car. I looked up, and from my periphery, I was like, who is this jogging beside me? And when I turned, it was me. And I was like, these drugs is about to drive me crazy.
Wow.
Literally, they had me on so many different types of medication. I was like, I can't do it no more. Like, I got to stop this, because if I ain't crazy, they're going to take me there. Right?
So when did you transition to the vegan lifestyle?
In 2017.
Okay.
So I wasn't able to do stand-up. I ended up having a dream in 2017. I had this dream, saw myself on TV with like a little natural hair. And I was like, okay. I woke up and I was like, I ain't even auditioning. I'm not even doing stand-up anymore. Lord, how did I end up on a show of some sort? Like, what is this? So I started praying, and I heard a voice that said, start doing videos. And I was offended. And I was like, Lord, first of all, I'm an actress. I'm not doing videos. Videos about what? And so I'm having this conversation with God. He was like, listen, when you were doing stand-up, you was reaching 15, maybe 30 people a night. You start doing videos, you'll reach thousands in minutes. And I was like, well, Lord, if this is you talking to me, I don't know if you check my social media, but I don't have thousands to reach in minutes. So I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right.
But I was reminded, no, I'm now living a life of obedience. Because this is after I've had the experience in the bathroom, and all I want to do is be obedient.
Right.
And so I was like, all right, I'm going to do these videos. And so I started doing videos based on whatever I used to tell on stage, like mom jokes, wife stuff, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to be a sit-down comedian at home, because I'm still, at this point, I'm still sick.
Right.
And so about maybe a week or so later, I decided I'm going to shave off my hair, because I used to wear my hair really long and straight, because that's what Hollywood told me they wanted, right? And I stopped covering my accent. I was like, I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to be completely free. So I shaved off all my hair. And then my daughter came home from school one day and said, Mom, you got to see this documentary. We watched it at school today. And it was What the Hell. And so me and my husband, we sat down, we watched it, and I was like, oh my God. Okay. I was like, So it's interesting to me, but the thing that got me is when they said diseases are not hereditary, is that we eat the same thing, causing the same disease.
That's so important.
It's so
important. Say
it
again so people hear.
Right. Diseases are not hereditary.
Not hereditary.
It's that we eat the same thing, causing the same disease.
Exactly.
And so for me, my mom died at 51 of a disease that is so rare, there's still no cause or cure. My dad is 67. He's the oldest male living in our family.
Wow.
Everyone died of strokes, heart attacks, or had them before the age of 50 on my dad's side of the family. And on my mom's side, like, they died 51. That's so young.
So young.
And meat was the common denominator. In my mind, I was like, this might be the thing that can break the curse on my family.
Wow.
And so I told my husband, I was like, let's do a 30-day challenge. And so my husband was like, we just saw this document, he down, like, let's do 30 days.
Wow, that's beautiful to have that support, though. We just take a moment for that, to have the support of a partner. Let's just take a big inhale.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Ooh, thank you, brother.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So we did the 30-day challenge. And on day 29, my husband was like, this has been great, but tomorrow I'm going to need a piece of chicken. Oh. And I was like, you know what? After day 10, I realized I didn't have headaches anymore. And my energy came back. And I was like, I feel good. I haven't felt this way in over a year.
Right.
I was like, I think this is my path. And I said, I think I'm going to go vegan. I think this is going to be my life.
Right.
And literally, it's like, as soon as I got that out my mouth, I heard the same voice that told me to start doing videos just whisper to me and say, now tell people what you're eating. And I was like, absolutely not. I was like, listen, Lord, I got to draw the line somewhere now. I'm from North Carolina. I done shaved off all my hair. And now I'm going to tell people I ain't eating meat no more. They're going to be like, she done finally lost her mind out there in Hollywood, right? And I was like, oh, Lord, but I got to be obedient.
Right.
And so I started telling people, you know what, I'm going vegan, y'all, or plant-based, whatever you want to call it. And when I find options, I'm going to just tell y'all about the food I find.
Right.
And so I started doing live videos on Facebook, cooking in my kitchen. Now, mind you, I've been on disability for a year. My disability ran out. I was on unemployment. That ran out. I'm broke. But I'm like, Lord, you got me doing these videos. But I'm feeling better. And so I told my husband, I was like, I got to do something to make some money because you're my partner, not my provider. Right. So I gotta do something. I'm doing these. I'm still every day. I'm cooking in my kitchen. Every day I'm doing a review about some vegan food, and then I told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna go drive Uber. And my husband was like, you gonna do what? I said, I'm gonna go drive Uber because I had also in prayer, God said, humble yourself before me and I'll show you something. And I was like, well, Lord, how much more humble can I be? Like, I feel like I'm probably one of the most humble people. And he was like, humble yourself before me and I'll show you something. I was like, well, that means for me, that means to serve. And I was like, okay, what else can I do? Because all my videos, even to this day, when I post, go live on Facebook, that's free. I don't get paid for that. I just do that for the people, right? And so I was like, serving is driving people. So I'm going to go drive Uber. So I went and drove Uber. And on December 30th of 2017, I was dropping somebody off that morning. And they were by Whole Foods. And I was like, ooh, Whole Foods be having good old vegan options. I'm going to go in here and give me a little breakfast. Right. Went in there and I was like, ooh, I ain't never seen this before. Tempeh bacon, TTL, TOTA or whatever. I was like, let me try that. And can you add a pickle on there? Honey, the sandwich was so good, I ate half of it before I even thought, oh, Lord, I need to do a video and tell the people about the sandwich. Right. So I'm sitting in my car. I turn my phone on, do a video to tell people I found this great sandwich at Whole Foods. I posted the video. Honey, I went on back to driving Uber. Then later that night, I get home, and the video had started going viral. It had like maybe somewhere between 25 and 50,000 views. I was like, wow, who is watching this video? Because mind you, all my other videos would get like 100 views, 300 views. When I would go live, it'd be like 30 people in the room. All my good family and friends. I'm like good support.
Your supporters.
Yeah, my supporters.
Right.
And it just, by the next day, it was like 100,000+. And within 4 days, Whole Foods reached out and said, we'd love to work with you. Wow. And I became their plant-based ambassador. That's amazing. Then 20, 30 campaigns of other products later. I do so many campaigns now and branded reviews. And honey, ain't drove Uber since.
There you go. Okay. Congratulations.
Listen, nothing to think is wrong with it, honey. Because listen, I tell you, I'll go drive it again if I ever have to. But God has blessed me.
Wow, that is fab. What a beautiful story. What a beautiful story. And one of the things that I love is that, like you say, you are so humble and that you really took it back to your roots and what you knew in order to propel yourself forward. And what do you feel like, because I know you're very spiritual and talk about being guided in that way, what do you feel about how, and it sounds like it helps you a lot in your path being an actress now, because not only do you work with Whole Foods, but you still go out for commercials and auditions, and as you know, it's hard, it's rejection every day. So if someone is out there and they're in that same position, what kind of advice would you have for them dealing with that constant rejection, constant having to show up and be approved or picked in order to make a living?
I say what's for you is for you. Nothing can stop what it's supposed to be for you. If it's for you, it's going to happen no matter what. Right. So you go in and show up, move forward every day. But once you audition, leave it there. Honey, listen, I auditioned for something that I can't even remember what it was for. Like, I would literally go into an audition, and this is so important. This is very important. If it don't feel right, it ain't right. If it don't feel right, it ain't right.
Right.
And there's a million more jobs to come. And it's okay.
Right.
We're not going to win everyone. We're not going to get everyone.
Right.
And that is okay. But if you have a passion, if it lives inside of you, it'll come out.
Right.
And everything will happen. I always tell people, if you think about it more than twice in a day, you're supposed to do something with it. That means it's your gift. That means God gave it to us. So stand with that. Like, hold on to that. Know that, like, you ain't crazy because you're pursuing this dream.
Right.
It's meant to be. It's just maybe not right now. But in the midst of pursuing, live.
Right.
Because living builds character. So we as actors, we got to know how to play characters, different ones. If you out here just sitting at home waiting, but you ain't out in the world living,
right,
you're not building your character. Like, for me, I remember when I decided to take a break from acting to have another child. I was like, listen, if the industry ain't going nowhere,
right,
it's gonna be there.
Right.
I want to build my foundation, because my home and my children, my husband, that's my foundation. So I took that time, and then after my son was born, I even told my husband when I was pregnant, I was like, listen, if it's meant for me to continue acting,
right, when
my son turns 1, I won't have to do nothing but answer the phone and say yes. Like, everything will be laid out for me.
That's powerful.
And literally, when he turned 1, March 18th, he turned 1, right, of 2013. On March 19th, I was on set shooting a movie that I never had to audition for. My phone rang, and I said yes.
Wow.
Literally.
That's powerful.
So that is the power of the tongue. Believing, having faith, and just knowing if it's meant to be, it's going to be.
Right.
And don't stress about it.
That's beautiful. And and yoga, like I talk to people about non-attachment. And it's like, that's the kind of lifestyle you have, just living your life, and you're not attached to whether you get the job or not.
No.
It's just like, what's
It'll drive
meant
you
to
crazy.
be for you is for you. Yeah, that is a beautiful way. And I think that, being in that industry for a while myself, like having that mindset, that's the only way you can stay sane.
Yes.
Because otherwise it's a lot of like, it can build a lot of insecurities in people.
Yeah.
And that's something we want to talk about, because you also talk about changing your hair. And for those of you who can't see, she has a big, beautiful afro. One of my biggest challenges was falling in love with my hair. So when you had the big chop, tell me the difference between having your hair straightened and going through life with that straight hair, and now having this big, beautiful afro. Tell me the difference in how you feel, because you're the same beautiful woman. So tell me the difference in how it makes you feel.
So the crazy thing is, when I first graduated high school, I went to college for a little while in Miami, right? And I had permed hair back then, because in the South, people was getting perms, right?
Every day,
honey. Get the creamy crack. And I was met for the first time in my life Jamaicans and Haitians and Africans, and I was like blown away with like all the natural beauty of them. And I did my first big chop in college. Shaved off my hair in a dorm room. One of the Jamaican girls was like, I do it for you, come on. Shaved me off, and she was the whole time like, you're crazy. Like, she had like a head full of like extensions, like long hair, but she was like, I would kill for this hair. I'm like, girl, shave this hair off. This hair is permed. I don't care. I want to be free. And back then I was thinking like, I want to embrace me, right? So I wore my hair natural since 98. Right. But then after I had my daughter, so we'll say 5-6 years of wearing it curly and natural, that's when I started, pressing it and wearing it straight. Because I even had locks for a while. So in North Carolina, I had locks. Right. When I got married, I had locks. And I had an agent in Greensboro who told me, nobody wants to book, first of all, a black woman, but with locks, you're making it harder for yourself. So you should reconsider. So I had been locking for a year. And so I stripped my locks, had to cut half of them and then strip the rest of them out of my hair. Wow. And then I wore my hair curly, and that wasn't really working. That was back when people weren't really booking us with the curly natural hair, right? And then it became a thing. Right now, that's all you see.
Now it's a thing.
Now it's a thing.
And how was it in that moment where that person told you, like, how did that make you feel? Were you just like, okay, fine, or did you feel something inside when you made that decision?
I feel like I was affected by it. Right. I was kind of like, dang, really? Right. But I wasn't affected enough to live my truth. Right. I wasn't affected enough to say, I don't care what they want. This is what it's going to be. Right. I did exactly what she said to do. And so I did. And that actually created a path that I began on, not just taking my locks out and wearing it curly. Then maybe a year or so after, I moved to Los Angeles, and that's when the pressing began. Wearing it straight. Because my very first headshot, my hair is curly. I got like this little curly afro. And then after that, all of them are straight hair until last year. Right. All straight hair. And I just remember thinking like, oh, this is what they want. But like I told you, when I came out of the, stood up and looked at myself in the mirror in my bathroom from being sick for all that time, I was like, I need to be free. Right. And part of healing, in my opinion, is renewing. And hair holds energy. Right. People don't like to believe that, but I truly believe that. And so I was like, I need to start over. Right. This hair went through death with my mom, went through sickness with my mom, went through sickness with myself. It's just been through a whole lot. Right. I need to let it go. So I shaved it all. I was like, I'm going to start over. And girl, honey, it was like freedom, honey. I felt so free. I was so happy. I was like, ooh, I can feel my scalp again. Like, the hair was heavy. My neck, I got a bad neck. I was like, I feel so good. And I just embraced it. And I love it. And people love my hair. Right. It's one of my number one questions a day on my social media. What do you use on your hair? How do you get your hair to look like that? Like, I'm like, if y'all only knew, it's so minute. Right. I don't be using hardly nothing. I just be living my best life. Like, girl, I talk to her. I always tell people, though, talk to your hair. Give her a name. Right. Honey,
and what's your hair's name?
This is Donna.
Donna.
This is Donna.
Donna's looking fly today.
See, look at Donna. And I named Donna because in the top, she grows straight a little bit. And she do what she want to do. So I feel like she probably related to Don King. So I was like, who's Donna? She probably a cousin or something.
That is so beautiful. And you just, definitely have it all together. And your work, your business, your family, everything. I know a lot of people looking at us like, she just got the life. Like, but is there anything that you still maybe struggle with that you can share that, maybe people don't see? Because I feel like some people think that you never have a bad day or things doesn't happen. Shoot. And can you just share like maybe something that you're struggling with now that...
I tell people every day, like, I'm human. Like, we are human. Like, right now I'm in physical therapy for this knee. Like, there's some days like I'm barely making it on this knee, child, but I try to push myself. Right. And, it's every day is a different day. We are human. Right. Every day ain't gonna be good. Right. I struggle with the thought of like business. Like, especially coming from, you're an actor, and then you come into the social media world. You never want someone to say, well, now she's not an actor, she's only doing social media. So I'm like, no, I'm still pursuing a dream. Right? So the conflict that comes with that, and wanting people to take you serious, and wanting to make sure that like people know like, oh no, I'm a trained actress, I'm talented, I can do this too. Right. And hoping that it doesn't go away. Right. Like that's, those are like natural things that we all think about, I think. In money and finances, because when you've been to the bottom, you don't want to go back. I be like, Lord, keep me, Lord, keep this bank account right, Father God. But yeah, I have all those things, and I'm a mother and a wife, so I'm always concerned about my family and my my children. My husband is a police officer, so I'm always concerned about him. So, but I have learned to give it to him, and truly give it to him, and I can't dwell on it. Like, I choose happiness. Happiness is a choice.
That's beautiful. It's so true. Happiness is definitely a choice. Yeah. So I ask this question in every podcast. My company is Get Loved Up. Love yourself, love others, and love the planet. So how do you feel like you're getting loved up, in your life?
Oh, my God. I always say what you give out is what you get back. And I literally live my life by leading with love in everything I do. I think that's what the world is missing, is love. I think if we love more, we'd have less violence, less hate. I honestly just every day I try my best to lead with love so that I get that back, and I feel it.
That's so beautiful.
Every day. Yeah.
Beautiful. And just being a mother, like you said, a mother and a wife, and just so inspirational to others. And even the plant-based diet, that's definitely impactful for the planet. I think that's one thing people might not know. They might do it for health reasons. But what really made me sick is that it's so beneficial. It is. To the world and Mother Earth.
Yes, as I started learning. Right. Like, when I first started, I did it for health. And then I didn't even think about, we don't think about what we don't have to face. Right. So animals never even came into my mind in the beginning. But the documentary opened me up to that too. Like after that, when I watched Cowspiracy and then Forks Over Knives, and I started like seeing like, oh wow, like this is this is happening.
Right.
So, you know, the torture of the animals. And then my mind, honey, let me tell you, this is a playground right here, child. This mind right here will get to running. And I started thinking of like, I think I forget the numbers, but we're at like an all-time high of depression for a country, right? People are on more antidepressants than ever before, right? And I think that the animals that people are eating, they're so depressed. You're eating their emotion, and people don't like to like look at it that way. But I'm like, when you're suffering, it's because they were suffering, and it's all tied in together. And then you know, we all become sick.
We're all one.
Right? And then the more that we wake up and pay attention and find out, because knowledge is power, we can make a difference.
That's so true.
So that's why I say my mission is the people, because if I can get the people to listen, right? If I get them to listen, right? Because food everybody loves. So if I get their stomach, I can get their heart.
That's beautiful. I love that.
And I do, and I convince people without convincing them to try it. And so many people have become plant-based or vegan just because of me gently showing them with love, this is an option. We can do this. We can save lives, period.
Leading with love. And I like the documentaries you mentioned, Cowspiracy, What the Health, and Forks Over Knives. So that's something everyone can watch and really get that information. And where can people get some more of your glow and this love that you're bringing? Where can people find you?
Well, Facebook is my main platform. So actress Tabitha Brown on Facebook, and then I am Tabitha Brown on all other social media. On Instagram is I am Tabitha Brown, Twitter I am Tabitha Brown, and YouTube is Tabitha Brown.
Oh, nice. And you got a show you're working on, right?
Well, honey, yes, we are developing a show. I'm developing 2 shows.
Okay. So can you share anything, or is it?
One scripted, one unscripted. I'll say that.
Okay.
I've always had a dream of being America's new mom in a sitcom form. So so like remember in the 80s, like the Roseanne show, right? So I would always say before Roseanne kind of lost her mind a little bit. Okay. But I would always say I'm Claire Huxtable meets Roseanne in the middle.
And you do have that Claire Huxtable vibe.
I'm like right there in the middle. Right there
I would love to watch that. Like definitely. Just thank you so much for sharing so much knowledge. And I know it's going to be beneficial for so many people who are looking to or following their dream and get sidetracked but get back on. And I think you definitely let your fears and your trauma make you fierce, and you're just out there doing it and living a true dream and doing it beautifully. So
I appreciate you.
Thank you for coming on. And is there any one last quote, tip, antidote you want to leave our community?
How I always close my shows. Have a good day, and if you can't, don't go messing up nobody else.
Oh, hello. Did you hear that? And we do this thing at the end. We make a little heart with our hand.
Oh, yes,
like this.
I love it.
And until next time, get loved up.
Yes.
That is